Amanda here from createyourfuture.co. So today we have Denise joining us. Hi, Denise.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, everybody.
And guys, a really exciting video. It's about parallel realities. So we've now shifted into a parallel reality where my audio works. So that's great. So Denise has a success story about her clients switching into parallel realities. And of course, like usual, we will talk about it. And and hopefully you guys will walk away with a little bit of a better understanding, because as you guys all know, Denise is like the queen of quantum physics and parallel realities and all of this sort of stuff. So yes, exciting.
Oh, fun. All right, here we go. So I had a client session recently, and while her session was not about the topic of keys, during our discussion at the end of it, she explained that she had recently lost her keys. And we started to talk about, well, in a parallel reality, in another reality that you're just not focused on, those keys are already here. You never lost them. You energetically lost them and have shifted into a reality where you can't find them. So now try to bring yourself back into the reality where you have them. Keep envisioning them. Quit looking for them so much and start insisting and telling yourself that you already have them. You have your keys. You've got your keys back. They're right here. Feel what they feel like in your hand. Look at them in your hand. Look at them on the counter or the place that you keep them frequently. Focus on knowing that there is a reality where they exist. And so now I'll go into, she sent in a follow-up and she says, I had a session with Denise on Tuesday. Within 24 hours, I found my keys.
Yay!
They had disappeared in the car for 10 days, and I had searched the car 4 times already. The car is new, and there is no mess that could have hidden the keys, not like my car, because I have kids. The car was empty of personal belongings. So she found the keys, and then she says, and she insisted that I affirm that everyone in my reality is nice to me. They value and respect me. Today at the grocery store, 2 managers approached me, so nice, both of them. They interviewed me to ask why I shop in that particular store, and they were so happy with my response that they offered me a beautiful bouquet of red roses and a gift card for my next shopping spree. This is all within 48 hours after speaking with Denise. Now that I have made quick proof of manifestation, I can go ahead and continue with much more confidence for the SP.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Exactly. So I love the way that you guys explained shifting into the reality of finding something. I remember I had a bank card. I had one, well, I still have one, but this was my bank card. It fell underneath the seat of my car, and my car was brand new at the time. It really didn't have much in it. And I was so focused on not being able to find it that I even put my hand underneath that seat like 3 or 4 times. Okay. And like, I know I felt completely everywhere underneath there. Right. But I almost look at it like this, like basically like it was like a force field around it, that my hand probably went there and then there, right? And like there, but maybe back there, but never just in that little vicinity, right? Like it was just completely blocked out of my reality. Like it just, even if, you know what, I probably even touched it and my brain didn't even register that it was, just like a cell phone. I've lost my cell phone, and then I've actually used my cell phone as a flashlight to look for my cell phone. I haven't registered that. And that's exactly what happens. So when we say, you know what, I'm going to find my keys, now we're in that parallel reality of finding our keys. When we say my keys are lost, now we're in that reality of the keys being lost. Shifting parallel realities with somebody in a relationship is as easy as them saying, no, I don't want to be with you, to, oh, actually, you know what, I do like being around you. You've just shifted realities. And how you do it is you shift your conscious thoughts. You focus on what you want. That automatically puts you into that reality. So we're constantly, because everything out there is already happening right now. It's just a matter of which one are you going to choose consciously to focus on. That's where your reality is going to collapse onto, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that's what I tell people, especially like even with, using the everyone is you pushed out concept is the same premise of a parallel reality, because that's how it works. It's the fact that that person exists in another realm, another reality, exactly the way you want them to exist. They think and feel about you exactly how you want them to think and feel. They live where you want them to live. They work where you want them to work. They're doing all the things you want. And it's not about you changing them. It's about you like not focusing anymore. Stop focusing on the version of them in the other reality that you keep seeing and don't want, and to shift that focus toward the version of them that already exists, and just focus and know that they are there and they do exist completely as the way you want them to.
Exactly. Exactly. No, it totally nails it. I always look at it like and it's, I think it's so important to look at it that it's easy to do, meaning that, nothing is completely, we have to be able to, I guess what I'm trying to say, we have to be able to be open to see that people can change. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing. I mean, there's somebody in my life that I'm not going to mention, but I'm not going to say who they are because they probably watch these videos. I mean, but anyway, it's just about, you just intend something different and then they change their mind, I mean, not even, that anybody that watches the videos, but like, I mean, anybody, I've had, it's something that Andrew said, that it's Andrew, of course, right? He said, and he's like, no to that. And then all of a sudden he's like, yes, so he can change his mind that quickly, just as fast as I, can see that he's open to changing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't hold on to, they're never going to change. We have to be able to see people as being able to change, right? And, seeing them from that sort of light as well. I think that's really important,
Yeah, they are going to change. They can change. And if you struggle with that, going back to, well, there's a version of them that already is what I want. So maybe I have to change my perception. Maybe it's me that has to change. But yeah, for the story and the human perspective of it, we have to believe that they can change and that you can get what you want from them. I have a key story too. I lost my keys in a car. And it was almost 4 or 5 days. I just remembered this while we were doing this call. And it was my cousin's car. We had gone to the beach and I panicked and panicked and panicked. And I tell you, all that panic for those 3 hours is what caused the 4-day delay of me not finding those keys. Because finally everything got resolved. I had an extra key, everything was worked out. And I was like, you know what? To heck with it. Like, I know those keys are going to show up. I know they are. And sure enough, she came in and she's like, guess what I just found out in my car?
Of course you did. Of course you did.
83 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I mean, so basically, I guess where parallel realities come from is that in quantum physics, you've got basically every single possibility out there. So if you can picture it this way, there's a basketball court, and the basketball is in every single position at the same time. Whether it be, being dribbled on the court, whether it be, just about going through a hoop, almost going through the hoop, going through the hoop, falling out of the bottom of the hoop, like all these it's constantly. And then now it's what you choose, right? So for instance, you say, well, I'm going to get, gonna score a goal, get it into the hoop. Then on that moment, you're focusing on that. And what's going to happen is that's going to go into your reality. You're going to be in that reality, and it's going to go into the hoop. But if you're worried about it and you're like, oh, it's not going to go, I'm going to miss, you go to take a shot, it's going to miss. So you choose with your conscious thoughts what reality you go into. And it's really just as simple as that, because nothing, that's the one thing is when I first heard about parallel realities, I'm like, oh, do I like shift into like a completely different like reality?
Right.
No, we're just shifting our consciousness from what we're focusing on into something. We're constantly going and changing and going into a parallel reality all throughout the day with our thoughts, constantly.
Yeah, time isn't real. The illusion of time is the shifting, we think, of going into another reality, where it seems different just a little bit. But
Right.
that our belief of everything being how it is, people being how they are, things looking how they look, expecting things to show up where they are, is what keeps that reality so similar. So sure, you could shift drastically, I think, from one reality into another where all of a sudden you have the exact opposite. I'm manifesting a home and I'm like, I could just wake up in it tomorrow. But also I would be like, what the heck? This is creepy. So it's going to be a story. There's going to be a progression to getting into that house. And yeah.
You've nailed it. That's exactly. You're constantly building and shifting that story just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. Like you nailed it.
Varying degrees of change. There's varying degrees of change getting you closer and closer, but you can, speed those up by saying, this is happening now. This is coming to me quickly. I'm seeing you how I want to now. You are kind. You are compassionate. You are caring. You are successful. You are healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think what I really love about that client's little success story is it's exactly what we say to do those little lists for, is to build your belief in this whole process, build your belief in manifesting. Starting to see the correlation between your thoughts and your reality is huge. I know when I have a down day, I just pray and intend for something to just show me everyone as you pushed out. And at that moment, I relax immediately, and I'm like, okay, what am I worried about? Like, I got this.
Yeah.
Like, you know, back into enjoyment and just living and loving life, knowing that you are going to get what you get, and that's what that little list is meant to do. So guys, you know, do those little lists, you know, of little manifestations, because sometimes those little things that build confidence is what gets you back in that zone of, you know, I'm God of my reality, right?
Yeah. And I think it's important to remember that in the quantum field, as Amanda said, everything is just a potential for all possibilities. And even once it manifests, when we look at it under a microscope, the strongest microscope we can, every single thing in existence is made up of the exact same stuff, So when you do find your keys, now you can say, oh, my SP, that person's these keys. Same thing. I had a client once do it with a tennis ball. She manifested a tennis ball, and then she started manifesting ample tennis balls everywhere. Tennis balls. And so I sat with a tennis ball on my desk, and I would tell that story to other clients and say, remember, it's just a tennis ball. He, she, they, it's just a tennis ball. That job, all of it, same thing.
Exactly. And yeah, exactly. 100%. Take it off the pedestal. I'm good enough. You know, I'm good enough. The reason why that tennis ball is so easy is we're not thinking, you know, that we're not good enough for this tennis ball, right?
Yeah. We don't have a story. The tennis ball doesn't like me. It didn't text me back. It rejected me. It's out of my league.
When I dropped it, it rolled away from me. It rejected me.
We're like, no, get over here. Get over here, tennis ball, you're mine. So have that attitude with everything else. That's, childlike innocence.
One of my pens ran out of ink. It rejected me. Never again am I buying that brand. Forget it. But, you know, I mean, it's to watch the meaning we give and always make yourself perfect, and to take something off pedestal. A quick little bit here is I'm good enough to have this. I'm good enough to be in the relationship I want. I'm good enough to be happy today. I'm good enough for people to want to be around me. I'm good enough to get what I want. So all those sort of statements really will take the thing off the pedestal, because it's not about kicking the person off the pedestal. It's about raising yourself up to be good enough to get it. You know, one big thing I noticed, and I was explaining this to somebody last week, was when we, as humans, we have this feeling within us of inferiority, to being superior to who we possibly can be. Now, this is very important, because that feeling of inferiority makes us want to create. It gives us that drive to create, to be better than who we are now, to create something better, to get a better house, to get a better relationship, to have these things. But it's important to not dwell in that, using that feeling to go, okay, look, this is only to drive me to want to create. Because if we didn't want to be better than who we are today, then we really wouldn't have any desire to create. Whatever, right?
Yeah.
So, and not to dwell in it, but so whenever you create anything, and this has always been something that I've done, is I say, I'm good enough to have this. I'm good enough to have that. And then you get it, and you're like, yeah, I've got it. But you've always got to create that, because it's the feeling of us not being good enough because we don't have it right now to who we would be if we had it. So we just need to create that little bit of, you know, that little piece in there to sort of drive us forward, to bring us out of that sort of feeling. Right. So very, very, very important. Yeah.
Yeah. That little feeling is what causes the expansion, right? The expansion of life and of, becoming more, wanting more, becoming more, wanting more, becoming more, wanting more. Yeah.
But when we get stuck in that and we don't deal with that little piece, okay, we have to deal with that. It's just the drive. It's just the drive. And we have to just acknowledge the drive and say, I'm good enough to have this. Thank you, drive. I'm good enough to have this. I'm going to have this now. Thank you. Right. And then that'll stop it from coming through, right? Yeah.
And I like saying too, what I want wants me, or specifically the thing I want wants me. That tennis ball wants me. That tennis ball wants me so bad.
So when you drop yours, it rolls to you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even if I'm uphill.
Right. Oh, I know, right? Because quantum physics will change that hill. Parallel reality. Maybe uphill, but there'll be a little downhill dip right in front of you there, right?
All right, I might try this now, actually. I'm going to try this. Game on.
Right? When I take a video to my driveway, I'll show you. It'll go downhill right for me. Tennis ball reject me. I'm okay with that, though. So, guys, I hope that the explanation of parallel realities helped you, as well as, yeah, talking about how to take things off of a pedestal and creating a little list of things to create that confidence and belief in your powers as a manifester, because you guys are all gods and you're constantly creating your reality every second of the day. And use that little trick of I'm good enough, or I'm perfect, or I deserve, or I can have, whatever you feel comfortable with the wording. You know, I like I'm good enough, but some people it may not resonate with them, but pick the wording for you. In other words, to take things off of a pedestal and to, you know, to sort of cancel out that little bit of drive that we all have as creators, right? So thank you so much, Denise. If you guys want coaching, Denise is available. Link is in the description below. Thanks for being here, Denise.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. And thanks, guys, for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.